Man, what is with these companies censoring these games for a modern audience trying to be less offensive? Thinking they can do better than the original creators. Come on, man. Dragon Quest did this, now Onimusha, also Elder Scrolls 4. Just stop. Just do what you're supposed to do. From Smash JT, Onimusha 2 flops after censorship gets exposed. I also just didn't know that this game was out. But I'm glad I know about this situation now. Because I'm definitely not getting it. If it's censored, I'll just play the original.
Onimusha 2 Remaster is a massive disaster. The launch has failed miserably, and it's all due to censorship and DRM.
That, and like, nobody cares. They'll just play the original if they want to play it. I don't know anybody who has even played these games. I'm the only one. And I played them by accident because I just happened to get them thinking they were something else back in the day whenever I was renting games. I thought it was Samurai Warriors, and it was not.
Onimusha 2, a game that a lot of people were looking forward to, and then when they found out Capcom was going full-on censorship, SJW, we can't have any kind of cleavage showing in any game whatsoever, because my goodness, won't anybody think of the children when they're playing a mature-rated game?
Yeah, well, mature-rated games nowadays are games like Call of Duty and GTA. So M for mature doesn't mean anything anymore.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and someone please help me. Why are we censoring M-rated games? What the hell is happening right now? Onimusha 2...
Because they're offensive, and kids play M-rated games now.
When it got announced as a remaster, initially I was interested. I was like, oh, okay. I never really got into the original one back in the day, and there's a lot of people that swear by it. So this announcement was actually something that perked my interest. And it was immediately dissipated as soon as I found out that there was even minimal censorship in the game, because that should never happen whatsoever, ever, in a game that is being remastered from back in the day when it's made for adults. JT. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down how Onimusha 2 Remastered has been ridiculously restricted.
And it's retarded.
Capcom, you had one job. Bring back the beloved classic in a better shape than it left the PlayStation 2. But no, instead you guys have managed to make Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remastered worse than...
Yeah, I just play the original. The original looks better. Even though it technically doesn't. These sharper images don't look good. It looks like that GTA enhanced whatever.
The original in nearly every single way. And I'm not the only one that feels this way about it, especially when browsing social media and seeing that the vast majority of people that were interested and excited about this launch completely lost any excitement as soon as they saw the censorship. Oh yeah, and the de novo DRM definitely wasn't helping either.
Well, I don't even know nothing about DRM. I just know that Steam's got DRM. I like Steam. So I still don't like DRM. GOG, DRM free. That's where I've been lately.
Fans aren't just disappointed, they are furious. Why do game companies keep doing this? Let's start with the basics. On top of the ridiculously unnecessary censorship, this remaster of a 23-year-old PlayStation 2 game has also been saddled with de novo DRM, the anti-piracy software notorious for degrading performance, locking players out of their own purchases, and punishing paying customers instead of the actual pirates that it's seeking to stop in the first place.
Yeah, and it's just gonna make it worse. They're gonna be like, oh, well, this game's popular again. We're just gonna take the original version and enhance it. Why would we even mess with this remastered version? Because it's broken and stupid. It's like they're making it broken and stupid so pirates don't mess with it, and they just go to the original and make that better. Then your version that you released that's broken and stupid. I don't get it. Did it cost them like no money to make it? So they release it just so, because they know they'll make a little bit of money? Or is Sony just broken? Are they starting to show the rot that Microsoft and all these other companies are showing after they've been around for 20, 30 years plus?
And the real irony with all of this is it's a PS2 game. And if you know how to sail the high seas anyways, you can just get the original ROM.
I have it, right? I have it.
That hasn't been censored. The hell was Capcom thinking here? Denuvo has long been hated in many PC circles for the impact on performance, with slower loading times, increased CPU usage, and restrictions on modding, to name just a few of the massive drawbacks. But for whatever reason, Capcom decided to slap it in there anyways, reportedly costing upwards of $25,000 per month or $300,000 per year just to have Denuvo as part of their game. And you gotta ask yourselves, do you think that they're making that $25,000 and saving against the piracy in the game? Or are they losing more money than they're making by injecting Denuvo into a game that can't even surpass 2,000 concurrent players on Steam DB?
I think somebody got inside Sony and just is trying to take it apart. I think we have a rat.
In the launch weekend. This is beyond embarrassing. Speaking of the Steam charts, as of right now in recording, there are just under 800 people playing the game with an overall all-time peak since launch of 1,631 people.
I don't get it. Why? And how does it have that good of reviews too? 164. That seems bloated.
That's not just a bad decision, it's a financial disaster. But if you thought the Steam DB numbers were bad, it gets worse, because when you start diving into the actual censorship in this game, you gotta ask yourself, the hell were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
Why would you do this when you know everyone is saying, stop censoring games, stop changing what the history was, keep these games the way they were, just make them improve with updated graphics, quality of life improvements, make them better, do everything you can with them. Don't add clothing onto scantily clad women in an M-rated game.
Well, it offends them, and they think that their choice is better than the original choice, and it looks better now. It's enhanced. Fucking idiots.
It makes absolutely no sense. What really sets fans off is how Capcom thought it was going to be a fantastic idea to censor the content in a freaking M-rated game, of all things, specifically by changing the female character's outfit to something more conservative, we'll just say. The change might seem minor to most at a first glance, but that's not the point here, and it's something that I've harped on for ages. If people want to take the approach of, oh, it's barely anything, you don't even notice it, it's not a big deal, why would you not purchase the game for that? Why would you even say anything? Who cares? You always come back with the same, well, if it's not
You can't let them have it. If that was the only thing that they changed, you can't let them have it. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
a big deal, why are they doing it? And if you're gonna say, oh, it's because the ESRB, because it's like a teen-rated game or whatever, I'd be like, okay, maybe there's some restrictions on what they're allowed to do, what they're not. That's kind of the whole point of the ESRB. But no, this is an M-rated game.
They didn't want to offend the weirdos who are gonna make a huge deal about it for no reason. People who don't actually even play it in the first place. Obviously, nobody played it. I think more people would have played it if it was the original version. What the fuck are you doing? Maybe they're trying to kill the hype for the upcoming Onimusha game. Because it's tainted now. Now I don't even want that game. And it looks amazing. What did they do to it?
They literally have no excuse for adding clothing on to a character that doesn't need clothing added onto them. The outrage many, including myself, are feeling here stems from the principle of the matter. If the devs are willing to retroactively censor content in games made for adults, what else might they change next time? And better yet, why do they keep doing this in the first place? And when you browse social media, you start seeing some of the replies of people. And again, this is not an isolated incident of frustration. It goes on and on and on. Sloan Ranger said, I saw some of the censorship of the old characters went from must buy to no buy. And then we have NEH Winston says, I won't lie, I've never played Onimusha. Censoring a 20-year-old game is not the way to get me to start. Hard pass. I'll never purchase a remaster that you've blatantly censored. Figure out how unpopular that practice is and then stop doing it.
Yeah, it's like the made-for-TV version. You know how you buy a DVD and it'd be uncensored? You know, there'd be some girl that's topless, you know. It's a little bit more extreme than this version of this game that we're talking about. But just use that as an example. And then the TV version, they put like a black bra over it. And it's obviously not supposed to be there, but you know, they put it there. That's what this is. This is the made-for-TV version. Probably because they're gonna slap it on a streaming service or something.
It's 2025, not 2015. We have Retromania who says, unnecessary censorship is really annoying, do better. And one of my favorite ones coming from Nate, with censored skins, revert the ridiculous censorship. It's an M-rated game for adults. No reason for it. Weird how blood and murder is okay.
Yeah, but there's gonna be some people who aren't gonna play it because it's showing too much skin. But now you've fucked over the audience that was gonna play it in the first place. You fucking idiots, congratulations, you played yourself.
But a little cleavage is crossing the line? It was fine back then. It's fine now. Literally nothing has changed except for maybe some of the people in DEI being put in positions that they shouldn't be put into, and they're in over their head making
True, so true.
these corporate executive decisions that they really shouldn't be doing to push an ideology. This isn't a case of a broken or buggy release. Onimusha 2 Remastered is fundamentally inferior to its PlayStation 2 version in nearly all ways, between the performance-killing DRM and the completely unnecessary...
Just another reason to just play retro games. That's all I do anyway. I've got a gaming channel down there in the description where I play mostly retro games. Even the new games I play are just basically new versions of retro games or sequels to retro games like Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 on the channel. But just as an example, usually it's stuff like Ratchet and Clank or Metro 2033 and BioShock.
censorship, there is literally zero reason to play this version over the original. Why wouldn't you just sail the high seas and pick up the PS2 ROM on PC instead of participating in a company hell-bent on pushing an agenda? It's a textbook case of a developer missing the point of a remaster to improve, not erase. And again, I keep going back to, this feels more like an ideology being pushed forward than anything else. And on sheer principle alone, that's enough to turn off most people from even buying the game in the first place.
Yep, I ain't buying it. And it's pushing me away from their new release that they got coming up, because what'd they do to it?
Capcom's decision here is reflecting a much broader issue in the gaming industry as well. A fear of offending the modern sensibilities, even when remastering games that were never meant to be politically sanitized in the first place is happening.
They just don't want articles made about them from people that they like saying that they're problematic. I bet there are articles talking about how we're actually a bunch of gooners for wanting this to stay in the game, and that we're a problem, and that it's actually a good thing that this game was censored.
And now, the fans who begged for Onimusha's return are left broken with a soulless shell of what made the original so great in the first place. If this is the future of remasters with censored, bloated, and DRM everywhere, and underwhelming, then maybe some classics are better left untouched. I hate to say it, but that is the reality. If you can't make a game better than it already was originally, you shouldn't be touching it in the first place.
Yeah, they should have just re-released the original version and just had it. They would have released a DRM-free version of Onimusha 2 exactly how it was, not even remastered, just where you're able to get the file and it work on PC. That would have been glorious. People would have ate that shit up, man. But these companies are too greedy and retarded to do that. They don't realize that their dumb decisions lead to making less money while they're in pursuit of making more money. In pursuit. Yeah, you get it.
Spend that time and money and effort somewhere else. Adding censorship where it doesn't belong is the dumbest practice I've ever seen put into place in business. Yet here we are rehashing the same exact problem that is plaguing the modern gaming industry. Who are the people making these decisions? There's a way to do it right, and there's a way to do it censored. And it really does come down to that. When I keep seeing these remasters coming out time and time again, there is a direct correlation between the wokeness of a company, the injected DEI of the company and the organization from the top down, and the amount of censorship that seems to get injected into the remaster that is getting made, compared to other game companies doing the remasters the right way and selling them. It's almost like the gamers are speaking with their wallets and telling these companies, stop selling woke slop. There are conversations happening out in public. YouTubers are talking about it. It's on X everywhere. Social media is blowing up with saying, stop censoring these games. Yet for some reason, many of these companies, Capcom in particular as of late as well, I've noticed, seems to be leading a charge of censorship that literally no one is asking for.
Yeah, like in Resident Evil 4 Remake. Great game, but the censorship in that is blatant. And I don't even think that the original was that bad. It had a certain charm to how ridiculous the flirtatiousness of it was.
Not that I ever want to tell anybody what to do with your money, but based on what I've seen, if you love Onimusha 2, unfortunately, after this all came to light, stick to the PlayStation 2 version. This remaster isn't just a downgrade, it's more so a warning sign.
Can you get this game on GOG? If you can't, then it needs to be. I'd buy it on GOG. Come on, Capcom, do what you actually need to do. Don't be stupid, but they're gonna be.
That no gamer should support if they're looking to rid the industry of this kind of practice. Speaking with your wallet is the only way these companies will ever learn. But my goodness, some of them have been really stubborn. And it's too bad too, because this is one of those games that could have been really special. But instead, we're just left with some slop of Capcom trying to say, no, guys, we're modernizing this game for the modern audience. And we're just going to add some clothes onto these girls in an M-rated game because, hey, that shouldn't offend anybody, right? Right? Who's it hurting?
It offended me, so I'm not gonna buy it.
Not hurting anyone. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link this in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button.
I am now going to start playing Onimusha. I really want to play it. I don't remember what it's like, and it seems like a really fun, cool game that I would enjoy very much. I'm not buying it, but I'm still gonna play it. If you catch my drift. That's all I got for this video. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I made them. They're my own designs. I'm out.